Hey everybody, this is Erico and I am back again. I'm finding that once again, South Korea, I think we got a problem.
Our funds are very limited because all those funds are collected by the students themselves. No cars can enter this place. So because the paths were closed from both ends, so this place was very cheap. That's why our senior students bought it that time. Second thing is it's very close to the university. It's like 5-minute walking distance. And you know that we have to pray 5 times a day, and we also have to do our research work in the labs. So the place should be close enough so that we can walk, pray, go back to our labs. We don't have funds to look for another place and like construct some big place there.
We really got a problem. There's been this reoccurring thing between Muslims and South Koreans, and it just keeps happening. And now we're finding that in a province in Daegu, that there is Muslims who are students, mind you. They're not there for a very long time. They want to have a mosque built because this mosque wasn't something that was a new idea. Oh no, actually they've had this mosque for years in this area, in this neighborhood to be precise. And they just wanted to build a bigger place for them to worship and to have their religion, because before it was just a regular house, and they're like, we want to do a 2-story building so that they can praise and worship. And many people in the neighborhood found out that they wanted to have their religion in this building, and all hell broke loose.
Some residents in the area and members of conservative Protestant groups were unhappy about the project, claiming the new mosque would result in loud noise and garbage. The construction began in December 2020, but after residents staged rallies and filed petitions with the district office, the district authority issued an administrative order halting the construction in February 2021.
Many people in the neighborhood, they said, oh no, not in our backyard. The excuse was first that it was too close to the houses, that it is right in people's backyards, and that Muslim people praise too loudly, and it goes into the night, and they have these functions where they are shouting out. And I've honestly never known the Muslim religion to be super loud. I've known it to be more like you're quiet and you praise and quiet, then you basically have one person talking and they repeat. But they're saying that it disturbs them, and then they talk about the food. They said this food has a strong smell. Skirt, wait a minute. Now I know Korean people are not talking about food smelling. Kimchi in itself stinks to high heaven. And kimchi is delicious. But the way that many Korean food has an odor, you all are talking about someone else's food from their culture having an odor as well. Really, like, you all just can't have strong foods that smell together. Because if you can stand the smell of kimchi, you can stand the smell of whatever they're cooking in their mosque. It gets worse. Then we have the protests, where anyone is allowed to protest. And I was with Korean people when they were saying, okay, we don't want it in our backyard. Okay, we feel like that the noise might disturb us, disturb our children. But then when we get to the culturally insensitive signs about their religion, and them being terrorists, and them being violent, that's when I had to jump off the train. Because you're not attacking the thought of them building this mosque in the neighborhood. No, now you're attacking them as people. And these are students who might have never killed a person, who are being victims of a stereotype that they can't control, that someone in their religion might have done something bad, so all of them are bad. And for them to go and put this on signs and tack them outside of the university, that's going too far. I can't support that. And one thing I noticed, not even just with Korean people, but just with people in general, is that when they get really upset and hurt, the first thing they want to do is attack someone's race or attack their religion or how they look. I noticed with many instances in Korea, the first thing they want to do is say, well, you look like a monkey, or you need to go back to your country, or ha ha ha, look, you're dark, or ha ha ha, you're a terrorist. And it's just like, you wouldn't want someone to pull their eyes back. You wouldn't want someone to say that you eat dog. You wouldn't want someone to say all these things about you, and when they do, all of a sudden it's, oh, you all are being rude toward us as Asian people. But then what makes you think that other people want to be on the receiving end of that stick? Make it make sense to me. And then we have people that will say in the Korean race, not all of us are like that. You know, we're not like that. But then you need to say something to the people that are doing this. You need to reprimand them, because I notice this is a constant theme and it really needs to stop. It's okay for them to be against them building it because they feel like that it's going to be noisy or it's going to disrupt their daily lives. I'm all for that. But when you start attacking people as human beings, especially for stuff that they didn't really do, only thing they want to do is have their religion. And they have a right to that. But when you start slandering them and making it become like a smear campaign and a show where the students have to look at that, where you're handing out pamphlets to people so that other Korean people can join in and say, you know, this group of people are bad people, when only thing they want to do is have an education and also praise. This is a reoccurring thing that I do feel like Korea talks about, but then they don't do anything about it. It's like they acknowledge, okay, we have a problem with this, but then it's still there. They might have a little discussion about it, then it's like, oh, well, we're going on about our lives because there's not really a whole lot of foreigners here, so, you know, why should we really care so much? But then there's that pressure too of foreign eyes that are looking at K-pop and looking at South Korea through their cinema and their shows, and they're realizing, yeah, we are gonna have to kinda, you know, bend back a little bit and do something about this. There is also the issue of communication here, where they don't really get to communicate because they don't speak Korean. The Korean people don't speak English. So this could be a major factor. I'm definitely not going to downplay that. But for them to jump to conclusions about a group of people without knowing anything about them, wherein the Muslim students haven't said anything toward the Korean people at all. They have actually tried to find solutions. They've said, well, if we're going to be too noisy, that's how you feel, we'll put soundproof walls. If you feel like that we're disturbing you in any kind of way, we can sit and talk about it. What can we do to make it better? And the only thing I've heard from the Korean side, to be honest with you, is a bunch of BS. I gotta be completely honest. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. The interviews I saw were BS. And just say that you don't want them there because they're foreign. Just say that you don't care to know anything about the religion and that you just don't like it because they're gonna have this mosque in the middle of the neighborhood and you already think that Muslims are terrorists and that you feel like it's gonna be like a big symbol in your neighborhood and other Korean people are gonna talk about it. Just say that. Don't come up with the BS, because that's all it is. And it's sad. It's so sad to see this all transpire.
Get out of this area right now! Terrorist! Live your country immediately! Right now! Get away!
It's sad, like, the Korean people that see this, that say, you know, well, we welcome everybody, they need to speak out and look at these signs and all the stuff that's going on and say, you know, this isn't okay. This isn't okay at all, because you wouldn't want to go to somewhere outside of Korea and for that to happen to you, where someone is pulling their eyes back or mimicking your language or your food. So think about how other people would feel in this instance as well. This is something that needs to stop. I'm not saying that you have to like them or like their religion, but definitely respect them as people, as human beings, and respect them for their time in South Korea. So you guys, this is a lot to think about. Follow my social media, mostly my Instagram. Also have a blog on East Asian pop culture. The link is always down in the description box below. And remember, be real, stay real, live in the real, and I will always be back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the various opinions below. Much love. Love you guys.